Hi everybody, my name's Kai and welcome back to the 480 podcast. This is my segment, Kai's Corner, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my personal rating of how the Arizona Diamondbacks 2024 draft went. The Arizona Diamondbacks opened up the first round of the draft having the 29th, 31st, and 35th pick. Arizona had a lot of prediction to take one of the best outfielders in the draft and one of the speediest outfielders in the draft, Slade Caldwell, who had a scouting report of 65, which is graded on a scale from 20 to 80 in speed. Arizona had a lot of potential to draft really speedy guys and guys with contact. They were drafting more or less for the younger generation of stars that they can build up through their system at an earlier age rather than drafting some older guys that would take some more time to develop within the farm system. Slade Caldwell was an 18-year-old outfielder who's a lefty through and through, and his wonderful speed makes him able to have super impactful plays in the field and on the base paths. However, even though he doesn't have lots of power, he is still ranked a 50 overall out of that 20 to 80 scale. And one of the best things about Slade is he won High School Player of the Year for Arkansas back-to-back years in a row and has honestly been one of the most influential outfielders in Arkansas and all states around. Slade also was a big part as to why Arkansas won their 5A state championship, and some of Slade's physical traits also help him with his game, especially due to his short frame, standing at about a 5'8". He's really able to be selective with his pitches and is able to understand exactly what his strike zone is, which helps in turn make him a little bit more patient at the plate and drives in a lot of walks, as well as increases his on-base percentage to even higher than it was previous years. One of the other biggest picks for Arizona in this draft was their 31st pick selection, which was another outfielder named Ryan Waldschmidt. Waldschmidt, however, faced very big injuries during the early stages of his career at Charlestown University, where he had an ACL surgery just during his sophomore year. However, right afterwards, Ryan hopped right back on the train and decided that he wanted to go to Clemson, where he was one of the best third basemen, who was later transitioned back out to the outfield, by the way, due to his amazing arm and his decent speed. One of the biggest things, too, about Ryan is he used to be a good, solid center fielder and a right fielder, but he made the transitions to left field due to the ACL surgery, which has still limited him during his game. One of the biggest things that I like to see from Ryan, though, too, is he is a guy that actually does hit for power, and even though his speed isn't really there, he does have an incredible arm and can throw almost anybody out no matter where he plays. One of the next picks in the draft for the Arizona Diamondbacks was their 35th pick, J.D. Dix. J.D. Dix honestly was very surprising to me, especially since he was ranked 75th out of the top 100 draft prospects and was projected to go into the third or fourth round. The D-backs chose him as their third pick of the first round, mostly due to the fact that he was a shortstop and they were wanting to develop those young players through their draft system. The Arizona Diamondbacks, too, thought that Dix was quite impressive, especially with him being a switch hitter. He found lots of patience and was very consistent at the plate. One of the best things to see, however, though, from him is his arm is wonderful, even though his bat speed lacks. J.D. Dix has a lot going for him, especially due to his quick hands and his decent speed, and his versatility is one of the biggest draws from him. He played all four positions in the infield during the draft to prove to everybody that no matter where he plays, he's able to excel at any position. And lastly, one of the biggest players that they selected from the draft during their second round was Ivan Luciano, who honestly to me was the most shocking pick, as I thought he was going to be an international signing due to him coming out of the Dominican Republic. Luciano is a 17-year-old catcher who played ball in the Dominican Republic and committed to Miami and Ohio this past year. He was the fourth and final pick for Arizona in the first two rounds and was ranked 220th out of all other draft prospects. Somehow he found himself within that 35th pick spot, or that 64th pick spot, and he's a righty catcher who definitely has an outstanding arm and is a great defender behind the plate. Luciano is honestly one of those guys that's more of a defensive-driven catcher, and his game has been compared most closely to Yadier Molina. Not exactly one of the best hitters on the field, has decent contact, but also isn't one of the best power hitters on the team. You'll definitely see him in more of a defensive catcher role, frames the ball very well, is able to body block almost anything, and is a stone-cold wall behind the plate where nothing gets past. The biggest issue to me for the Arizona Diamondbacks after this draft was that all of these guys are mostly coming out of high school, and it's really hard because a lot of these guys can choose to enter their college years, and these are just wasted picks for Arizona. However, with high hopes of high school players mostly wanting to go just start out in the MLB, that's a really big draw for them already. So hopefully Arizona can get these guys going over there for the Reno Aces and the single A, high single A, double A, and triple A as fast as they can. Arizona, like I said, though, does have a little bit more issues going all the way back further into the draft with picks during the 11th and 12th round, where they weren't necessarily necessities, but they were kind of older guys that have just been sitting in college systems for a while. However, there are guys that, in my opinion, are very outstanding that came in the later rounds, like Jacob Eswell, who I think it will definitely turn out to be one of the better pitchers in Arizona's farm system. Thank you guys so much for watching the 480 podcast. That was my segment, Kai's Corner, and I can't wait to see more of you guys in future videos where I get to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I hope you guys can keep following us too during the Diamondbacks postseason run in the second half that we all know that they're going to have. Thank you guys so much too, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the content on this channel. You guys can click the links here, 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 and here, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.
The Phoenix